For more on early childhood development and its importance in a learner's life, we're joined in our Durban studios by Usha Naidoo, an educator and author. She's written extensively on the education sector. Good afternoon, Usha, and welcome to the SABC News Desk.
Good afternoon. It's great being here today, and especially speaking on early childhood development.
Usha, what does early childhood development actually entail at this point? And tell us why it's so critical we start investing more time and more attention on ECD at this juncture.
Well, I'm so pleased to hear that South Africa has finally realized the importance of early childhood development and is doing something about it, because the 2024 initiative, I think, is absolutely great. So what is early childhood development and what is it? It is actually learning within a formal environment when you are from the age of 3 to 6 years old, and it is before grade 1. And I could not stress the benefits. As an educator myself, I cannot stress the benefits of learning, of this learning in a formal environment, and how much impact it impacts on the learner in further education right up to university level.
Usha, can you elaborate a little bit on those benefits for us? And do you feel that a formal learning environment is crucial for children, and if so, why?
It is absolutely crucial. First of all, the ECD centers become the microcosm of society, and the macrocosm being larger society, of course. So from socialization, from learning how to cooperate with others, from learning how to integrate, from learning how to cope and to cope with diversity, to learn how to communicate well, to learn to develop your skills, to learn respect, to learn teamwork, to learn the resilience, to learn concentration, patience. These are all things that are learnt in the Early Childhood Development Center. It cannot always be taught at home, which is a very informal learning environment. Many of the children in South Africa are being taught or stay at home with their grandmothers and their caregivers, and certainly they are not getting the benefits of this formal learning environment, which holds so beneficial for them later on when they enter into primary school, and of course go on into high school and then tertiary education. The grounding, the basis is at the level of the ECD centers.
Usha, how does ECD assist learners in their schooling, and can you elaborate on its impact on a learner's life as he progresses through his academic career? And by what you're saying, one can pick up that a child that has access to ECD does have a clear advantage over children who do not. And how does this present in the classroom?
Absolutely, I will agree 100% with that assertion that a child who has had access to an ECD education, 3 to 6 years old, is so much more socialized within the formal learning environment of a classroom. They have such better skills. They are able to communicate better. Their creativity has already been tapped into. They are able to develop talents more. They are able to be socialized more into a formal learning environment. Their cognitive development is way above the level of a child who has not had access to an ECD education, let alone their physical development. If you're looking at nursery schools where they have play groups and you have this, the monkey bars and that kind of thing on which they play, you're looking at playing within teams, within groups. You're looking at finger painting. It's developing skills that will hold better when they do get to primary school. Skills which they use in terms of group work, in terms of discovering talents, being good at sports. It all starts in an ECD center, should the child have access to that center. So I'm very thrilled that the country is recognizing exactly how important the ECD centers are, and that they are instituting that from or have a plan for 2024 to have it completely within most schools in the country.
Very quickly, Usha, we are running out of time. Now, there seems to be so much work to be done with a child before formal schooling even has begun. But the stark reality is that many of our households are struggling to meet ends meet, and also access to ECD is still very much of a challenge. What can caregivers, parents, etc. do on the home front to enhance cognitive development of a child between 0 and 6 years old, should they not be able to access an early learning centre right now?
Well, what I think would be an ideal would be for parents or nannies or caregivers to actually formalize maybe an hour in the day or maybe 2 hours to sit and work with this child, whether it is teaching them skills like cutting, skills like painting, develop their talents, find out what they like to do and hone those kinds of skills and talents. Work with the child instead of just letting the child play or watch television or even reading to a child, getting their love for reading started at this early stage would be so beneficial later on to the child.
Usha Naidoo, author, educator and journalist, joining us from our Durban studios. Thank you so much for your time on the SABC News Desk.